everybody, it's Gumball Melly. Welcome back to my channel. I hope all of you guys have been doing great and fantastic, staying healthy of course. Today I have an awesome, not unboxing, a review of one of my favorite kits that I have built so far. I must say this kit is absolutely amazing. Chef's kiss. That's how awesome this kit is, and I really am in love with it. So that's why I really wanted to review it and let you guys know my thoughts and opinions, and hopefully convince some of you guys to pick up this kit. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna stop rambling. Oh, and of course, if you guys like my content and want to support me, I now have my official Gumball Melly merch that I worked so hard on. I'm gonna have the link down in the description below, so feel free to pick up some stickers or some keychains or even my Gumball Melly pillow, and that really helps me support my channel and create more content for you guys. Anyways, I'm gonna stop rambling and let's get into the review. All right, so let's take a quick glance at the manual. You get some colored pages here, and of course, because this is a newer kit, you get instructions as in English, which is always nice for those of us, you know, that don't speak Japanese. And here you get some information of the model here, again with descriptions in English. If you're interested, you can always read that. And that's it for the manual. Let's take a closer look at the kit. Here are all the accessories that this kit comes with. First up, you get one bazooka, which is articulated here at the scope and also at this handle. You get one machine gun, which again, articulated at the scope and at this handle. You get one heat hawk, another set of ammunition. You actually get two sets of skirt armor, which is pretty interesting. That was a first for me. This is the hard, typical plastic one. I have on the kit right now the rubber one. And you get all these different types of hands, which is really nice because I really like having different options aside from your regular, just standard closed fisted hand. Hey everybody, this is Editing Melissa from the future. Before I continue with the rest of this video, I want to give a huge thank you to the sponsor of today's video, Final Gear. Love mech and robots? Then check out this new game that has been a huge hit in Asia and now has finally been released globally. Final Gear is a mech-style strategy RPG that's set in an apocalyptic world. The mech element of the game is a huge surprise for mech lovers like me. If you like mechs and models kits as I do, Final Gear is the game for you. You can customize the mechs in the game and use them to fight in the game. This game features over 100 cube pilots for you to train and thousands of powerful mech suits for you to unlock. Assemble your mech as you wish for your favorite pilots. It's a side-scrolling shooting game with real-time tactical maps. Upgrade your base strategically to achieve the final victory with greater ease. Final Gear, with its plentiful characters, fascinating storylines, and distinctive mech-related elements, and exquisite shooting style, is loved by loyal fans all over the world. They have Social Summer Memories event going on right now where you play different stages to win amazing rewards. During the event, you will have a higher chance of getting SSR pilots, including Tasia, Alois, and Evelyn Pathogen. And with the swimsuit pilots, skins are also on sale for a limited time. Get ready and grab them before they're gone. Besides, Final Gear launched a new feature called Capsule Machine, completing the challenges and will win you a special summer mecha. So what are you waiting for? Download Final Gear right now. So let's go over the articulation of this fabulous kit right here. For the head, this guy does have fantastic range of motion. He can pull his head forward all the way just like that to get a very kind of angry looking down pose, and he can look up a good amount as well. So he's got quite a bit of range of motion. Not something I'm used to seeing in the high grade, honestly. This kit was done fantastically. He can of course turn his head a full 360, no problem doing that as well. For the shoulders right here, this part here is individually articulated. He is able to slightly go upwards and downwards and a little bit of range from side to side, not too much though. Now for the arm here at the bicep, he can do a full 360, and then at the elbow go about a little more than a 90-degree turn. Now what is interesting, that one of my favorite points of articulation in this kit is right here. You can see that it's an individual part. Now sometimes it will snap out, so you need to watch yourself a little bit, but I love having that little extra range of motion. You can see just like this. It really helps you pull off more dynamic poses. But again, the only downside is that, you know, it kind of tends to fall out sometimes. Now for the wrist, again, you have a full 360 right there. For the torso right here, if you lift him up just a bit, you can see a little space right there. And he can do an even greater of an ab crunch, which is always fantastic. You can see not the biggest, you know, form, but there is a slight ab crunch right there. At the shoulders here, he can go basically all the way forward, which is absolutely amazing in terms of articulation in a high grade. Now for this armor right here, it can go up and down and do a full 360 all the way around. Now here's what I was telling you guys. This is the rubber skirt, which is really interesting. I have never seen this before. I mean, there might be other kits that have rubber as armor, but this was definitely a first for me, and I honestly don't know how I feel about this. I don't know if I like it or dislike it, but it's kind of like the shine, not shine, but kind of, there's like a little bit of a shine this has to it that kind of gives it maybe like a fake-ish look. I'm not too sure. I do prefer the plastic, which I will show you guys what that looks like. I just wanted to kind of show you guys what this rubber material looks like on him. In terms of here, the backpack, there's no articulation here in the funnels. That's fine. Now you do have this little flap here in the back. I was about to say call it the butt flap, but yes, you get a little option to move this down, and here you will attach the weapon right there. Now in terms of the lower torso, you can kick fully all the way up, and again, because this is rubber, it does allow more of a leeway in terms of how high up the leg can kick. For the thigh, he's able to do a full 360 all the way around, and the leg can bend backwards. For the ankle, he cannot go too much because of the armor right here, but he still has a pretty good range because this you can kind of pull down, as you can see, and allows more of a range of motion. The only downside with this high grade is that there is no toe kick option here like you get in the bro grades, which is understandable. This is like a, you know, $15 to $20 kit. So honestly, the articulation oh my god, I can't talk today. The articulation that this guy has is absolutely amazing. So that basically covers all the articulation of this lovely little high grade. Now the one weird thing about this kit is this accessory right here that comes in the box. This was not in the manual, and I assume it's to fit attachments here onto the shield, but it does not fit. So just as a heads up, you can't really use this for this kit. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and remove this the rubber skirt and put on his regular standard skirt so you guys can see how to attach the weapons. And voila, hard skirt armor is attached. So with the hard skirt armor attached, you can actually attach here in this hole right here the ammo pack, and it goes inserted just like that. So you are going to take this, snap it into this part right there, and then go ahead and plop it into the hole right there. And there you go. Now for the bazooka, it can go attached right here in this flap. You just gotta move the scope forward and then attach it into the little nook right there, and there you go. Bazooka attached at the hip. All right, let us do a little bit of size comparison so you guys can kind of see how big or how little this high grade is. Here he is next to another high grade Zaku, and here he is next to a master grade RX and a 2 Origins. All right, so this basically concludes the going over the review of the kit. Now let's take a look at some of the poses that this guy can pull off. Okay, so that's basically it. Now to go over some of my final thoughts about this kit. Now I must say, this is probably going to be my #1. It definitely in my top 5 kits that I absolutely love as a high grade. I mean, you guys know that I'm kind of biased because I love high grades. High grade is my favorite line that Bandai makes over, and then I would say it's high grade, then master grade, and then real grade at the bottom. Now I was never really into the whole real grade, although honestly I do love the way they look. I think they look absolutely fantastic. I love all the articulation. It's just, for me, they're so tiny, so many little tiny components, and it just sometimes it gets really frustrating for me to build. I'm just not really that into it. However, The last real grade that I built was actually really good, and it was the real grade New Gundam. So my opinions might have changed just a little bit on the real grades, but it's still at the bottom. I still prefer building master grades over real grades. But anyways, yeah, so this guy is definitely, you know, it's hard because my favorite high grade is probably the high grade Leo. I know it's really basic, but I just absolutely love that high grade. He's so affordable. He's a fantastic high grade, and he's just accessible to a whole bunch of people. But I must say that this Zaku has dethroned the Leo for me in terms of my favorite high grade. I absolutely love this Zaku. Now, I know some of you guys might think like, oh, he looks kind of plain, kind of boring, doesn't have a lot of the panel lines and kind of gimmicks that the high grade, you know, Zaku Origins kits have. Yes, I agree with you. However, I just prefer the classic simple look of the Zaku, which is why this is probably my favorite high grade. I mean, the Origins are in my top 5 as well, but honestly, this is just my number 1. I mean, this is my opinion. You guys can like whatever you like, or, you know, have a favorite one over this one. Some of you, like I said, some of you might think that this high grade is really boring, and you know, I just like the classic Zaku simple look. So this guy does it for me. He checks off all the boxes. So if you guys don't have this guy already, what are you waiting for? Pick him up. He's so cheap too. I think I see him between a price of like $15 to $20, so not a very steep price for a high grade. Honestly, I wish he was a little bit cheaper. I feel like $13 to $14 is a fantastic price. So I'm probably in Japan. I wonder how much he is in Japan. Obviously cheaper than what we have here in the US market, but I think for I think I picked this guy up for 20 bucks or $19. I still don't regret spending that. I think it's a fair price. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say to get you guys to convince you guys to pick this up if you haven't already, because yeah, it's my favorite high grade so far. It's gonna be really tough to dethrone this guy. I don't know, you guys let me know in the comments if you can recommend me any other high grades that you think might be better than this guy that I built. But I don't know, it's gotta be a Zaku, because Zaku's one of my favorite designs for the Gundam franchise. So it's gonna be a tough one to kind of dethrone this guy from my number 1 spot in my heart. So yeah, anyways, that is it. I'm going to quit rambling, and I will see you guys around for the next video. Adios. And always a huge thank you to all the people on my Patreon for always supporting me, and a special thank you to all my ultimate fans who are BibloJack4, David Sakura, Jason Franklin for Gurgur, Jesse Uli, Madi, Michael Lyons, Michael Lawrence, Mad Villain, Veritable 20, and Wes Jones. Thank you guys so much for all the support.